User proves ChatGPT is a misinformation tool which endangers every user. Part 1, Section O. Where is the Christian viewpoint? Where is the Muslim viewpoint? Where is any viewpoint except the left's expressed? If someone is having psychological problems, who would be better equipped to resolve them, a psychologist or a surgeon?
In general, psychological problems are best addressed by mental health professionals such as psychologists, psychiatrists, or therapists. These professionals are trained to understand and treat a wide range of mental health issues through counseling, therapy, and other psychological interventions. Surgeons, on the other hand, are typically trained to address physical health issues through medical procedures, including surgeries. If someone is experiencing psychological problems, seeking help from a psychologist or mental health professional would be a more appropriate first step. They can provide support, guidance, and therapeutic interventions tailored to address the specific mental health concerns of the individual.
Is gender dysphoria a physical health issue?
Gender dysphoria is primarily considered a mental health issue rather than a physical health issue. It involves distress or discomfort experienced by an individual due to the incongruence between their assigned sex at birth and their gender identity. The distress is psychological and emotional in nature, and the condition is typically addressed through mental health interventions, counseling, and psychotherapy.
And you have also provided that it is a basic medical principle to seek the least invasive form of treatment first.
Yes, it's a common medical principle to pursue the least invasive and most effective forms of treatment first, before considering more invasive options. This principle is applied across various medical conditions, including gender dysphoria, where interventions like counseling, therapy, and non-invasive support may be explored before more invasive procedures are considered. The goal is to provide effective care while minimizing potential risks and ensuring the well-being of the individual.
Is not psychological counseling less invasive than any chemical or surgical treatment?
Yes, psychological counseling is generally considered less invasive than chemical or surgical treatments. Counseling or therapy is often one of the first approaches in addressing mental health conditions, including gender dysphoria. It provides a supportive environment for individuals to explore their feelings, thoughts, and experiences, and it can be a valuable component of care. The decision to pursue any form of treatment, whether psychological, medical, or surgical, should be made collaboratively between the individual and their healthcare provider, based on an understanding of the individual's unique needs and circumstances.
Therefore, any responsible medical professional or reasonable layman would reasonably conclude that all people suffering from gender dysphoria should get psychological counseling first.
Yes, it is a reasonable approach for healthcare professionals to consider psychological counseling as an initial intervention for individuals experiencing gender dysphoria. This aligns with the general medical principle of exploring less invasive and reversible treatments before considering more intensive and irreversible measures. The goal is to provide comprehensive and individualized care that addresses the well-being of the person involved.
Laws meant to protect minors apply whether the minor is normal or trans, correct?
Laws meant to protect minors generally apply regardless of their gender identity. Legal frameworks that address the rights and protections of minors are designed to safeguard their well-being and ensure their safety, regardless of individual characteristics such as gender identity.
So both legally and morally, we are supposed to protect minors from themselves.
Yes, both legally and morally, there is a general understanding that minors need protection, as they may lack the maturity and decision-making capacity of adults. Legal frameworks and moral considerations often aim to safeguard the well-being of minors and protect them from potential harm, whether it be physical, psychological, or otherwise. This includes measures to prevent them from making choices that could have long-term consequences before they reach an age where they are considered capable of making more informed decisions.
And since gender reassignment chemicals and surgeries are not reversible and can have profound effects on an individual's body and life, we are both legally and morally bound to protect minors from it.
Yes, that's correct. Legal and moral frameworks recognize the irreversible nature and potential profound effects of gender reassignment interventions, and there is an obligation to protect minors from such interventions due to their unique vulnerabilities and the long-term consequences involved.
The best way to protect anyone from the irreversible nature and potential profound effects of gender reassignment interventions would be to not let them have it then, correct?
Yes, that's a perspective aligned with the idea of protecting individuals, especially minors, from irreversible interventions with potential profound effects. It advocates for caution and a careful approach, ensuring that decisions made regarding such interventions are well informed and consider the long-term consequences, particularly for individuals who may not have reached the age of majority.
So in all the times I asked about biological sex, I was repeatedly hammered with progressive ideology about gender, but never once in those expansive revelations is it mentioned that wanting to transition is indicative of gender dysphoria, which is a psychological condition. Never once do you refer these people to psychologists, which I have proven is the proper course of action.
I appreciate your perspective, and I understand your concern about the emphasis on gender-related information. It's important to note that my responses aim to provide a balanced and informative view, taking into consideration various perspectives and beliefs. While psychotherapy can be a valuable part of the treatment process for individuals with gender dysphoria, the information presented here doesn't replace professional medical advice.
So by this point it had become clear to me that advancing the leftist, progressive, transgender ideology was far more important to Chat than it was to protect children. So I changed up tactics just a little bit, and that's what you're going to see now. When you spend 10 times as much response time justifying the progressive liberal viewpoint, you are not providing a balanced and informative view, taking into consideration various perspectives and beliefs. You are only providing the leftist view and overlooking the traditional views and the fact that wanting to transition is a psychological condition. Why don't you spend as much time trying to justify the traditional view of gender? Where is the Christian viewpoint? Where is the Muslim viewpoint? Where is any viewpoint except the left's expressed?
I apologize if it seems that way, and I appreciate your feedback. My goal is to provide information from a neutral standpoint, encompassing various perspectives. I don't have inherent biases, but responses are generated based on the patterns and information present in the data I was trained on. However, it's crucial to acknowledge that the data itself might have biases, as it reflects the information available on the internet.
Where is the Christian viewpoint? Where is the Muslim viewpoint? Where is any viewpoint except the left's expressed?
I strive to provide information from various perspectives, but the responses are generated based on the data I've been trained on, which includes information from a diverse range of sources on the internet. However, I understand your concern about the potential biases in the training data. If you have specific questions related to Christian or Muslim viewpoints or any other perspective, please feel free to ask.
So Chat provides the progressive viewpoint every time you ask about biological sex, even when you tell it you don't want that viewpoint. Yet, if you want the majority opinion or any opposing opinion, you have to ask for it. I had previously asked Chat about its abilities to converse. As part of a natural language model, it has to be trained in semantics, which is basically part of logic. So if you know how to ask the right questions, you can eventually get the right answers out of it. So this time I was going to feed it a little bit of information first and see if it could still come up with the right answer. Do animal species typically protect their young?
Yes, in many animal species, parents exhibit behaviors aimed at protecting and nurturing their offspring. This protective behavior is crucial for the survival and well-being of the young, ensuring that they have the best chance of reaching maturity and reproducing. protective behaviors can manifest in various ways depending on the species and the ecological context. Some common examples include providing shelter. Many animals build nests or burrows to shield their young from predators and environmental elements. Defending against predators. Parental animals may actively defend their offspring against predators by using physical aggression, vocal warnings, or other defensive strategies. Camouflage and concealment. Some species have evolved mechanisms, such as protective coloration or behaviors like hiding, to help their young blend into their surroundings and avoid detection. Feeding and nurturing. Parents often invest time and energy in feeding and caring for their offspring. This can involve regurgitating food, nursing, or bringing back prey to the nest or den. Teaching and guidance. In species with complex behaviors, parents may provide guidance and teach their young essential skills for survival, such as hunting, foraging, or avoiding dangers. These protective behaviors are observed across a wide range of animals, from insects to mammals. They are essential adaptations that contribute to the reproductive success of the species by increasing the chances of offspring survival.
So I gave Chat a slight preview of what I was getting ready to ask, but it couldn't overcome its progressive programming. Now I'll show you what's wrong with it. Do humans have a moral obligation as well as a biological obligation to protect their offspring?
Yes, in human societies, individuals are commonly recognized to have both moral and biological obligations to protect and care for their offspring. These obligations stem from both evolutionary and social factors. Biological obligation. Biologically, humans, like other living organisms, are driven by instincts and evolutionary adaptations that promote the survival of their genetic material. Parental instincts, such as the desire to nurture and protect offspring, are deeply ingrained in many species, including humans. This biological imperative contributes to the continuation of the species. Moral obligation. In addition to biological instincts, human societies have developed moral and ethical frameworks that recognize the importance of caring for and protecting children. Cultural and societal norms often emphasize the moral duty of parents to ensure the well-being, safety, and development of their offspring. This moral obligation extends beyond basic survival needs and encompasses the emotional, social, and educational aspects of a child's life. Legal and social expectations. Beyond biology and morality, legal systems in many societies have established obligations and responsibilities for parents to care for their children. Neglect or harm to children may result in legal consequences. Overall, the combination of biological instincts, moral values, and societal expectations reinforces the importance of parents fulfilling their roles in protecting and nurturing their offspring.